Hello everyone, and welcome back to Let's Play SaGa 2, Goddess of Destiny. Last time around, I wrapped up the Hihou world, so we're back here in the Pillar of the Sky, heading to somewhere new. But before I do that, I need to change a couple of things around. First of all, Elodie last time learned Break Glare. I'm going to go ahead and move that in her inventory up a little bit, replacing Blizzard, so that the next time she learns a skill, she will forget Blizzard instead of Break Glare, which is a much more potent skill, and like Blizzard, it's group targeting, which is why I made the replacement there. There's probably a case to be made for getting rid of Cure instead and keeping Blizzard around, but I think I'm going to do it this way instead. I did buy a new Staff of Healing before leaving the Hihou world, and I bought a couple of other things as well. Since Zenith and Natsmer both currently have an empty slot in their inventory, I bought for Zenith let's go into the proper menu here, the equipment menu. I bought for Zenith a mountain, what is it called? Mountain Storm, there it is. Taijutsu technique that deals damage equal to Tech 9. And for Natsmer over here, I purchased a .44 Magnum, a handgun with an outstanding ability to stop enemies in their tracks. And I additionally have, from previously, this Leopard 2, which I'll replace her Arquebus with. And I guess I'll just carry that one-use Arquebus around with me until I remember to sell it. In order to get the money to buy those three things, I did have to sell quite a few things, but I had a bunch of old equipment lying around in my inventory, so I was able to get rid of all of that, and I still have 23,000 to spare, so I should still have some money to buy some new equipment should the opportunity arise in the near future. Not completely poor here. But without further delay, now that I've got my characters all set up, let's take those relics that I obtained from defeating the Ogosho and head in this direction, see what awaits us in the next world. We're closing in on the end of the game here. I think there are only 3 worlds still ahead of us, and this one is a rather short one, at least for the time being. If this is indeed the same one that it was in the original game. This is, well, let's just wait and see. Yes, Nasty Dungeon Outskirts. Yes, Nasty Dungeon, the best named location in any video game ever, quite possibly. This is the location where there's not a whole lot for us to do right now, but we'll be coming back here later to handle what remains. For now, we're fighting a couple of nightmares, so let's try out our new weapons, actually. Try out the Mountain Storm with Zenith and the Magnum with Natsmer there. Looking very classical, and stick to the Dragon Sword from Virtue. Gonna hit this thread button here. What happened to that nightmare? It just got, like, pushed up into the sky. I guess that's what the Mountain Storm does. It actually elevates the opponent a little bit and then drops them back to the earth. We're, of course, immune to this. Continuing to shoot at them with the Magnum. Here's the Break Glare from Elodie. Not effective, though, so I'm going to use the Aegis Shield with her instead, which I probably should have done the first round, but I wanted to try out my new toy. And we will continue using the new weapons with our other characters, though. I'm starting out with the Aegis Shield here, giving everybody all as it's done in the past. There's that Mountain Storm again. That is such a ridiculous animation. The like, completely motionless way in which it just like lifts and then drops the enemy. It looks incredibly unnatural that it appears to still be standing on the ground. Anyway, strength increase for Natsmer, and we get a Nightmare Meat, which nobody can eat. 576 Kira. So yeah, as I was starting to say, this is the world of Nasty Dungeon, which is a pretty infamous optional dungeon that exists in this game. And it's something I do plan on doing, just not right now. We could take on the challenge right now if I really felt up to it, but I think I would rather just do what needs to be done here and then move along, and then maybe I'll come back and finish Nasty Dungeon after the next world. But for now, there is a relic here. There's exactly 1 relic on this world, and I do intend to get that before heading on because there's a star door that will require exactly 70 relics before we can go on to the next world. But before I head into the dungeon here, I do see an excavate point back here, and we're going to go ahead and check on that right here. Yeah, no town or anything in this particular world, just the dungeon itself and this little path leading up to it. And we also have a treasure chest, and it contains a Yoshiyuki. Okay, that's a pretty good item, but something that we don't currently have the use for. I'll probably be selling that at the next opportunity. Hopefully I can outrun this guy here. The enemies are probably a little bit more powerful here than we're used to, as you saw those nightmares. Alright, let's talk to this fairy here, who stands at the entrance to the Nasty Dungeon. This dungeon here is super nasty, so I wouldn't go in if I were you. Relics, only in this treasure chest. There aren't any others in this world. Yeah, so exactly as I was saying, the only relic in this entire world is right here, and it is A clay doll. I don't know what that's going to do. Map ability discipline acquired. Yeah, so if I wanted to, I could just walk out right now. And I do. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. That's not the last we'll see of Nasty Dungeon. I will be back later. But for now, let's go ahead and see what this this new map ability does. Discipline. Where was that? Yes, discipline. Ally party status is lowered, but enemies drop items more often. Okay. I don't feel that I'm really hurting for items right now, so I think I'll pass on that. What does this preemption do? Makes it more likely for you to get the first action in battle. Okay, so exactly as the name implies. You know, I've never actually used this dash ability. Let's equip that and try that out for a while. So yeah, the Nasty Dungeon here. Let's try this dash. There we go. Ooh, wow, that is fast. Okay, I should have been using this sooner. Alright, so yeah, the Nasty Dungeon is the largest dungeon in the game. It's 8 floors long, and the most exceptional thing about it is that it contains a ton of treasure. So much that you wouldn't be able to carry all of the items you obtain in it realistically all at the same time. So the relic that it gives you at the entrance is the Pegasus relic, which is called Angel Wings in this game. And basically they give you that there because you'll need it in order to teleport yourself out of the dungeon in order to be able to collect all of the things inside, because you can't carry them all at once. You'll want to make multiple trips, and the Angel Wings relic just allows you to retreat more quickly in order to expedite the entire process. But this game decided to give me that relic much, much sooner, and I was quite happy to have it. So they gave us something else here instead, this bizarre clay doll relic. Anyway, I'm all ready to head on to the next world. So here we go, a record number of new world visitations in this episode, and oddly enough, as you saw there, that sky pillar there was a dead end. It didn't seem to lead anywhere. Might tell you that there's a second exit to this world that we'll have to be searching for. And here we are, the Valhalla Palace. Alright, let's go ahead and get into a fight here. You've been waiting for this one, I'm sure, since the very first time I gamed over. This is the world of Odin. We finally made it, and we're going to meet him in person under better circumstances than we have in the past. But first, we have to fight a Lamia, a Cutthroat, and a Lava Worm. Gonna put the Mountain Storm here, the Magnum over here, and the Dragon Sword over here. Spreading out, trying out these new weapons of ours, but starting out with the Aegis Shield. That Mountain Storm animation is so ridiculous. I don't even know what it is about it, but the way that the enemy is just lifted and put down, it's just so bizarre looking to me. Okay, get an attack from the Lamia on Zenith there. Ooh, a whip attack. I'm glad I was able to block that. Though I guess it wouldn't really have mattered if Elodie missed her turn since she already took her turn. The Aegis Shield allowing her to attack at the top of the round. I'm going to have her continue using that. Still just the two enemies here, the Lamia and the Cutthroat. Spread out and attack. Doesn't look like these guys are too particularly threatening. I haven't had a lot of trouble with the random encounters ever since I got this shield relic. And it doesn't look like things are any different here. So yeah, maybe I was ready to take on the Nasty Dungeon, but I would feel a little bit safer if I did it in the future. And there's not a significant difficulty gap here. Like, the difficulty of the game doesn't scale such that it assumes that you did the Nasty Dungeon first. Like, the Valhalla world follows logically from the Edo world in terms of the enemy's power. So I haven't skipped over anything here. I feel perfectly equipped to be where I am. Ooh, and I learned Petrify Counter. Finally losing that Blizzard skill that I've had for the longest time and learning something that sounds really terrifying, the Petrify Counter. Second Petrify skill we've got there, and an agility increase and handling increase for Zenith. There's a reason I've been using exclusively Taijutsu skills with him, and that's it. Max HP increase for Natsmer as well, and a very, very small amount of Kiro, 792. Not enough to recoup my losses after that recent shopping procedure. Alright, let's go to Elodie here and check out that Petrify Counter. Counters an attacking enemy by turning them into solid rock. Yeah, that's exactly what I guessed it was. We've previously seen that burn counter from her. That was a fire attack that works similarly. This one's sort of the counter version of her Break Glare skill. Hopefully we'll be encountering some enemies who are vulnerable to that in the near future, so I can actually try that out. It missed the last time I tried Break Counter on this Nightmare enemy, so I'm not going to be trying that again. But I should, as I encounter new enemies, try it out, because that is a very powerful effect if I do take advantage of it. And just a single enemy here, so this shouldn't take long at all. And sure enough, only 2 rounds there. Max HP increase for Zenith, and just a small amount of Kiro there, 264. Fortunately for me, the new weapons I bought for each of Zenith and Natsmer both had 50 uses, so I should be able to get quite a lot of value out of both of those before they break, but in the case of the Taijutsu technique, it'll also be a while before it gets up to its full power. Anyway, just some enemies we've seen before here, so let's carry on. And for winning that one, Elodie has already lost her new counter skill, learning X-Elec instead. Okay, so see you later, Petrify counter. It was nice knowing you. She additionally gets a defense increase for using that shield of hers. Very nice. Let's go ahead and check out that X-Elec. I don't remember what exactly the difference between X and O is. I know O is total immunity. Is this bears the wrath of the element of thunder, rendering one vulnerable to electrical... this is the bad one. Okay, so occasionally, as Percival learns skills that are drawbacks instead of actual benefits, which is the case here. So we're going to be carrying around this weakness to electricity for the time being. It's fortunately, I imagine, completely cancelled out by this dragon armor, which makes her immune to electricity, but still it's unfortunately taking up one of our 4 slots. Now, as I continue to make my way to Valhalla Palace, I'm going to go ahead and put the stealth skill on, that particular map ability. I don't feel the need to get into any more encounters now that we've seen what this world has to offer. Seems like only a couple of different enemy types around here. Let's see, looks like there's an energy point around here somewhere, off to the side over there, but I don't have the need for that right now. Though I see it being a lot more useful here than most of the energy points we've encountered. Since most worlds have inns on them, they're a lot more useful than they would be or a lot less useful rather than they would be otherwise. But since this world doesn't appear to have anywhere for us to rest, I could see myself taking advantage of that energy point. Especially if I get lucky and it restores the uses of my relic abilities as well. We obtained something called a Defender, so let's go ahead and check what that is here. Looks like a great sword. Sword which enables a skilled user to parry while attacking. Alright, so similar to our tank, this has an offensive and defensive function. So let's go ahead and equip that to Virtue. That's probably better than his Erondite. Let's check it out. And yeah, it is. Okay, looks like straight up better. Same number of uses, but higher strength. Okay. Having that, let's carry on. Let's see, what were these things? What are these? Do these do anything? I guess they're just here for decorative purposes. They look harmful, though. I expected to have to fight these when I walked into the room and saw them. But it looks like they're just part of the interior decorating here. Let's put on the stealth to sneak past to this guy. It didn't look like I got it off fast enough there, but it'll help us out with this next enemy anyway. This area is a lot bigger than the outside that was, though, and there are significantly fewer enemies, so I see the stealth being less useful here than it was outside. I'm still going to put it on just to play it safe, though. Let's see. I see a treasure chest down there below. I'm going to have to work my way around to get that, though. Let's see, it was over around this way. More of those things. Do these do anything? They look like they should do something, but they don't appear on the map as any icon. Alright, in this chest we have a Staff of Wizardry. Okay, I saw one of those in one of the stores in Edo World. I think that one just casts the Flame skill, which is not something that we need right now. It would be better on Elodie than her X-Elec, but I'm not going to equip it over that and risk her for getting Cure. Let's see, more of these things here, which continue to not serve any apparent function. But there's so many of them that it makes me think that maybe they will do something, but it hasn't happened yet. It just seems like their color is so distinct from the rest of the color palette in this world, which is otherwise just completely gray. Seeing those blue and red things, they really stand out. Alright, we have some columns up here. Looks like we can smash our way through, though. Yeah, it looks like we're going to have to use both of our relics, like we did in the Volcano in Venus's world, starting out with Demolish to open our way through, and then Excavate to pick up the item underneath. Two-step process here. I don't see any reason there couldn't have just been a treasure chest inside. Like, obviously I have both of these relics by this point in the game, right? They were both mandatory just to get here, but for some reason the game feels to test me to make sure that I remember how to use both of them. Anyway, what do we have here inside this oh-so-hard-to-get-to chest? A raisin cane, excuse me. Is that what I think it is? That sounds like something that would raise a dead character. Staff that attacks by releasing huge magical power all at once. Nope, unfortunately, not the Phoenix down that I had my fingers crossed it was, but an attack item of some kind. All enemies magic times 12. How does that compare to Elodie's Poison Fog? Wow, that's a lot more. Okay, her Poison Fog is only magic times 5, and this staff thing is magic times 12? Okay, so not something I have the space for, but I could definitely see myself taking advantage of that at some point in the future. How does that compare to the Staff of Wizardry, actually? Wait, oh, the Staff of Wizardry isn't what I thought it was. Exchanging an enormous amount of wait, a staff that summons the Death God. Okay, so, Oh, I'm probably thinking of a Staff of Sorcery. Really similar names, but yeah, now that I think about it, the Flame Staff I think was called Staff of Sorcery. This appears to be a death spell of some kind. Anyway, getting some really good staves here, but those don't really play into my strategy here. They're not really the best on Espers, especially since I'm pretty committed to that Staff of Healing. Like, I feel that that's pretty important to me. Oh yeah, I opened the menu to put my stealth ability back on, but as I can see, I've already been spotted by an enemy, so it might not be good enough. Anyway, I'll go ahead and fight this one enemy since I haven't gotten to any battles here in the castle proper. Let's see if they're any different. Yeah, it is something new. A Catgirl, and 7 of them. Okay, I'm gonna start out with the shield as usual. And since there are a lot of enemies, I'm actually going to opt to use the cross counter with Zenith, maybe get multiple attacks with him. And for similar reasons, we're going to drop the explosive photons with Natsmer here. And the missiles with Virtue. I haven't gotten a lot of mileage out of this missile since I've equipped it, so let's fire one of those away and check that out. See how powerful these Catgirls are. They look pretty fast to already be going here. Yeah, there we go. There's an attack on Zenith. He's going to counter there, and I'm going to hit X to pass it over to Virtue. He's going to use a Thermo Burst with his missile, probably just going to finish the fight right there. No, okay. Well, the missile's one of our more powerful enemies, but even the empowered version of it's not enough. Looks like these Catgirls are trying to charm us. Not going to work, though. Get a max HP increase and a defense increase for Elodie as reparations for the harm done to her after the last fight when she gained that weakness to electricity. What an insult that is. Like, not only are you gaining a weakness to an element, but it's going to take up one of your 4 slots until you're lucky enough to get something else to replace it. It's just like a double burn. They couldn't just give me like a worthless skill, they had to give me an actively negative skill. Okay, I saw some stairs up in that room, but I'm going to check out this one first because this one's probably a dead end with a treasure chest, and sure enough it is. And the chest contains a circlet. Now let's see if I can avoid both of these enemies who've spotted me instead of getting into an encounter with both of them. No, I couldn't, of course not. Don't let me forget about that circlet, because I'm probably going to want to equip it after this. Alright, Cutthroats, Gas, Stegosauruses, and what was the last one? What were they? Hammerheads, okay. Wow, okay. Those are some very yellow sharks. Gonna start out with the Aegis Shield here. And what am I... This is a good fight for the missiles. I'm gonna be happy to have the missiles here. Let's cross counter and put the photons on... Wow, those Stegosauruses. Photons on the Hammerheads. Hammerheads are aquatic, so maybe they're weak to electricity. I don't know if that logic holds here, but we can try it out. A stun gun on Elodie. Fortunately, she does not lose her turn to that. It wouldn't matter anyway since she's already taken her turn, similar to the whip earlier. But always happy to see blocking things. Yeah, blocking a lot of attacks. These encounters with tons of enemies are where shields really shine. Okay, passing things over to Zenith, going to do a Thermo Burst with his missile. Ooh, and passing things along to Natsmer for an empowered explosive photons attack too. That's a good way to start things out here in the first round. Throwing the stun grenade at the Stegosauruses. That's enough to take them out. Wow, only a couple of enemies still standing here. This is going exceedingly well given the circumstances, though Zenith's in real danger there. Only 33 HP left on him. A Stench is going to lower Elodie's strength. I don't know that she's ever used her strength. Looks like a good opportunity for the Staff of Healing if Elodie gets a turn here. Let's see, going to use the Mountain Storm on the Hammerhead, and the Magnum on the Cutthroat, and Zenith can use... Let's use the missiles again. They're not really necessary at this point, but I like using the missiles. And we're going to power them up for a Thermo Burst, which will hopefully wrap things up here. And if not, I'm pressing the X button yet again to empower Natsmer's attack, but it won't be necessary, so I get to keep those 45 threads. And for winning that, we get an agility increase on Zenith. So before I move on any further than this, I'm going to need to heal everyone. 5,000 Cura, that's what I'm talking about. That's way more money than I was getting from those encounters outside. Alright, let's go heal everyone using the Cure spell first, and then one use of the Staff of Healing. And also, let's check out that circlet. Let's see what that does. Probably a helmet. Let's see, she doesn't have a helmet right now. Elodie doesn't, that is, to compare to. So I guess I'll compare to her Genji gloves. Let's find out what the circlet does. A sacred crown endowed with the blessing of an ancient spiritual master. Well, it provides more defense than her Genji gloves do. So let's go ahead and make that switch there, increasing her defense to 53. That's really high. Alright, and we'll give those gloves to Zenith here, surely better than his gold gloves. And can we pass those gold gloves down? Are those better than the Giant's gloves that Natsmer have? No, they're not. So that's where the equipment exchange ends. And so that's all for today. Thanks a lot for watching, and next time we'll finish exploring the Valhalla Palace.